Welcome to our devotion today. I want us to think about one of the things that I think is just especially interesting about our Luke chapter 24 text. These two unknown disciples, the reason that they stand out as special is because we don't know anything about them that makes them special. We live in a world that is totally enthralled with wanting someone that we think is special to think we are special so we can think we are more special. I mean, isn't that why we drop names? You know, if we were telling the story, we would have much rather told the story about why Peter ran to the tomb and he was fast. And Peter, the rock that Jesus had built his church on. Or we would want to drop John, John the beloved that leaned up against the Lord in the Lord's Supper. Mary, the mother of Mary. We would want to drop names because we would think that would make us more special because we encountered someone more special. And what I like about this passage is that we don't know anything about these two disciples. There's no status, there's no title, there's no significance. But what's powerful about that is who they are is good news for who we are. Not only does Luke help us to recognize that these two no-name disciples were so important to Jesus that he chose to reveal himself to them second, only to the women and maybe to one woman, Mary Magdalene. So the other powerful thing is the sequence by which Jesus reveals himself. Who does he show himself to first? A woman. Now that may not mean a lot for us in our culture, but for them in that culture, women were not in a category that made them even have a valid testimony. Both cases in the Gospels where it describes the women going back to the disciples and announcing that they'd either seen the Lord or seen angels who told them he had risen, the disciples didn't believe them. It's crazy to be someone in a society that whatever you say is thought of as suspect. A woman was not, in a Jewish court of law, was not seen as a valid testimony even to a crime. So what's amazing to me is how much Jesus turns upside down the value system. Who he embraces are the people that are marginalized in society. When he announced his good news back in Luke chapter 4, Jesus said he came for the broken and the oppressed and the blind and the captive, the marginalized. You see, when someone is marginalized, they matter to God. Marginalized people matter to God. So if you and I have ever felt marginalized, like we just didn't matter, like we weren't special to anyone, and so therefore maybe we're not special, if you've ever felt that, then who they were is good news for who you are. Because Jesus loved them enough, they mattered enough to reveal himself to the women first, and then to these two no-name disciples, these two insignificant followers. Why? Because no follower is insignificant to Jesus. So today, be encouraged. God sees you, whether anyone else does or not. He knows you more intimately than you know yourself. And he's wanting to press into you to strengthen your connection to him simply by letting you know just how special you are. God bless you. My thoughts and prayers are with you today, that this would sink in, that you would recognize you matter. You matter so much that the Son of God came to die for you, to raise for you, and to fill you with his presence. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.